Welcome to Learn English Fluently Academy. Please remember to check our website learnenglishfluently.com, where you will find our video on how to name the parts of the body. In today's video, we will learn how to name common objects and places in English. Let's begin with naming common objects. Common objects are part of our vocabulary and everyday communication. When learning the names of common objects, it could be very helpful to start with naming the common objects at home. Some examples of household objects include cupboard, pillow, coffee maker, bed, spoon, blanket, knife, stove. We have the sink, washing machine, pot, dish. We have the fridge, sofa, stool, cup, television, glass. Whether you're attending classes online or in a physical setting, it is crucial to be familiar with the names of items that are commonly found in a classroom. For instance, we have a globe, highlighter, calculator, chalkboard, eraser, microphone, sticky notes. We have a projector, water bottle, pen, a notebook. We have a desk, a pencil, book, chair, backpack. We have a paper, a glue, a doll, a ruler. We also have a whiteboard, a window, and a clock. Now let's go to naming places in English. First, we will talk about geographical locations. We have countries, for example, the United States, France. We also have cities, for example, New York City, Paris. We also have towns and villages, for example, Springfield. So you need to know that a town is smaller than a city is smaller than a country. Now let's go to buildings and structures. We have houses, we have schools like the university. We also have hospitals like the general hospitals. We have malls and we have parks. We can also talk about natural features like the lakes, the rivers, the forests, and the mountains. We can also name public spaces like the library, the restaurants or the cafes, theaters, and stadiums. We can also talk about transportation hubs like the airports, the bus stops, and the train stations. We can also talk about workplaces like the offices, the factories, the warehouses. We can also talk about recreational areas like the playgrounds, the club, like the country club, and the beaches. Places in the city are important to know when navigating a city. Here are some examples of places in a city. Note that the names can be different based on where you're coming from, either the US or the UK. We have a city center. We have a car park. It is called a car park for those coming from the UK. For those coming from the US, it is called a parking lot. We have a telephone box. That is for those coming from the UK. For those coming from the US, it is called a telephone booth. We have a pavement for those coming from the UK. For those coming from the US, it is called a sidewalk. We also have a cycle path for those coming from the UK. For those coming from the US, it is called a bicycle path. We have the traffic jam, the street lights, the crossroads. We have a flyover for those coming from the UK. For those coming from the US, we call it an overpass. We also have the underpass, a roundabout. We have a pedestrian crossing for those coming from the UK. For those coming from the US, it is called a crosswalk. We have road signs, traffic lights. You can also find a library, a bookstore in the city. And you can also find a post office, a pharmacy, and a hospital. Would you like to enhance your English skills but have never found the time or motivation to do so? We have the perfect solution for you. Online individual English lessons conveniently from the comfort of your own home. With our personalized lessons, you can learn English flexibly, tailored to your pace and unique learning style. With highly qualified native-speaking teachers, we will guide you through every aspect of the English language, from the basics to advanced conversation. Our online individual lessons are convenient and adaptable to your schedule. Whether you're looking to improve your language skills for work, travel, or simply to enrich your life, the Learn English Fluently Academy is here to help you achieve your goals. What are you waiting for? Book your trial lesson now. Find the link in the description. Let's look at the article we use when naming buildings or mountains or lakes. When naming buildings, use the article "de" before the name of the building. For example, we have the Marriott Hotel, the Emperor's Palace. When naming mountains, use the definite article "de". For example, the Rocky Mountain, the Himalayan Mountain. Do not use "de" with mounts and lakes. For example, he can see Mount Fuji. Don't say he can see the Mount Fuji, no. I live by Lake Ontario. Use the definite article "de" for names of seas, rivers, and oceans. For example, the Pacific Ocean, the Nile River, the Panama Canal. We also use the definite article "de" with names that have the preposition "of". For example, the University of, the Republic of, the island of. Like we saw in the video when naming countries, we use the definite article "de" when naming countries that have unions, words like unions, emirates, kingdom, like the United Kingdom, the United Arab Emirates, the United States. Great! We have reached the end of this video. In the next video, we will learn about verbs and tenses. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platform where you will find new and released content. All the links are in the description and on our website learnenglishfluently.com, where you will find educational materials and exercises on all topics. Bye!